How's everybody doing? I'm going to talk about something kind of serious tonight. I have watched over the last few days one of my mutuals on this app get doxxed. Her name is Tori Greer, and she's been very public and very open about this. And it started a month ago when a creator on this app who has a very large platform made a claim about people on the left, and Tori posted some videos asking for proof of that claim. And that creator has a very large following, a very loyal following, a very dedicated following. And when Tori asked for proof of the claims that that creator was making about people on the left, that creator's followers have spent the last several weeks viciously attacking Tori. And that has culminated over the last couple of days with that creator's followers doxing Tori. That creator didn't do it, but their followers did. And that's not the first time that that creator's followers have doxed people, including in the comments on videos by that creator. And I know this firsthand because that same thing happened to me and a very dear friend of mine a year and a half ago with that same creator. That creator targeted a friend of mine and stitched a couple of my friends' videos in a manner that was less than positive. And within 24 hours in the comments on that creator's videos, my friend was doxxed. Her full legal name, the name and address and contact information for her employer, and that creator's followers started contacting my friend's employer, demanding that they be fired. And that same day, I made a video just like, really, this is what we're doing now? If somebody says something we disagree with, we're going to dox them. We're going to put them in a state of feeling threatened. And we're going to contact their employer. Strangers are going to contact their employer and demand that they get fired. Never once did I say that that creator doxed my friend. Never once did my friend say that that creator doxed my friend. That creator created an environment for that to happen. And that creator did exactly the same thing with regard to Tori, who's a mutual of mine, who has now been doxed. And let's talk about that word doxed for a minute. Because as Tori has been going through this, and she is an inspirational and admirable person in so many ways. And she is standing up for herself publicly and loudly and openly. And she has filed police reports. She's got allies on her side who are digging up information on the people who doxed her, all of whom are followers of that creator, who Tori asked for proof of a claim that she made. And because Tori asked for proof of a claim that this creator made, she's now been doxxed after a month and a half of being relentlessly harassed. And people are saying, well, if you can find information about someone online and you share that information online, that's not doxing because that's public information. And that is, and I say this as someone who's been a practicing trial attorney for the last 26 years. That is wrong. Doxing comes down to intent. Because why are you sharing that information about another person? If you're sharing that information on TikTok or other platforms to harass or cause harm to the person who owns that information, that's doxing. It doesn't matter if it's publicly available information. If you're sharing it with the intent to harass or cause harm, that's a crime. And that is doxing. Doxing is not a legal term. That's also an important lesson to learn. It's not a legal term. And so these people who are doing this to Tori, they've committed a crime. And fortunately, Tori has filed at least one police report. I'm sure she's going to end up filing several more. But a friend of mine a year and a half ago shared an opinion, and it was saying maybe we should show some empathy for some people. And she was accused of things that you can't possibly fathom, for saying we should show empathy for people who were at that moment in time dying. And I made my TikTok sticking up for my friend, because I stick up for my friends and I don't like bullies. And that same creator stitched a couple of my videos, duetted a couple of my videos. And I woke up to thousands and thousands and thousands of comments on my videos from people who were complete strangers to me. They were not followers of mine. My page was set to public, calling me racist, calling me a bigot, calling me a misogynist, calling me homophobic, transphobic, excuse me, calling me ableist, telling me that I was dangerous, threatening me. I had death threats. And less than 24 hours after I posted that video, I was doxxed in the comments of that creator's videos about me. All of the contact information, the name and contact information for my employer at that time were shared in those comments. That was on a Friday, towards the end of June of 2023. And my employer at the time was flooded with emails and phone calls from people who had never met me, didn't follow me, had never interacted with me in any way, shape, or form, saying that I was dangerous, that I was all of those isms that I listed, that I was a threat to marginalized communities, and that I needed to be fired immediately. And 10 days later, I was fired from my job, because that creator created that environment for their followers to do that kind of thing. And that creator's followers are doing that exact same thing a year and a half later to Tori. And Tori and I have exchanged some messages. I have been extremely hesitant to speak out about this publicly, because that was an incredibly traumatic experience for me to go through. It just was. It just was. I mean, at that time, I was 54 years old. I'd been a practicing trial attorney for, 23, 24 years. The job that I was fired from, I had had that job for 13 years. And I was a senior trial attorney for a law firm. And that creator created that space for her followers to do what they did. And they had done it many, many times before. What that creator's followers did to me and what that creator's followers did to my friend were not new. It was not the first time those two things had happened. And I spoke out about this on TikTok several months later, that my friend and I were hunting trophies for that creator, whose fingerprints were not on anything that had happened. That creator did not dox me. That creator did not dox my friend. That creator did not dox Tori. Their followers did. With a level of dedication that is fucked up, I gotta tell you. If that creator's followers had put that kind of energy into any number of other things, they could affect some serious social change in this country. But that's not what they choose to put their energy into. And that creator knows that. That creator knows that. And so doxing is about intent. Anytime you share any information about another person on any social media platform, if you are doing it to harm them, harass them, cause them any kind of difficulty in their lives, that's a crime. Doubly so if they experience something like getting fired from their jobs. And because of, and there, some of that creator's followers still fucking harass me to this day. I mean, I have one extremely dedicated stalker troll who last week I nicknamed Poop Shoe, because every time that person pops up in my comments with that person creates multiple new accounts every single day. 15 months later, to harass me and to threaten me and to make innuendos about what they can still do to me and to my life. You already got me fired, dude. That creator's followers already got me fired from my job over a year and a half ago. I'm self-employed now, and gloriously so. There is not one goddamn thing that you guys can do to me anymore. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm self-employed. I don't have a job. There's nothing left that you can do to me. And another important point, including that creator and all of the people who came after me. I had never been through or experienced anything like that before. Nothing like that had ever happened to me. It scared the fuck out of me. It put me in a state of fight or flight, of terror for weeks. From the moment that it started, 10 days later, I got fired, and I was afraid to leave my apartment for weeks. I kept my blinds drawn because of the death threats and the threats of physical violence that I was getting from people who had my home address, who had the address and name of the employer where I used to work. I was fucking terrified for people that I worked with. Are these people going to show up there not knowing that I'd been fired? Are they going to hurt people that I cared about where I used to work? Are they going to come after me when I'm out walking my dogs? People who I've never fucking met? Because some creator made space for them to do that? You know, but here I am, $20 months later, I guess. I think I said 14 earlier. It's 20 months later. I control every single area of my life now, and there is nothing that these people can take from me anymore. And the only thing that Tori did was ask that creator for proof of a claim that she made in a video. That is the only thing that Tori asked for. And there has been a dedicated campaign for several weeks now from that creator's followers to destroy Tori's life because she asked a creator with a very large following to back up a claim that that creator made on TikTok. That's the only thing that Tori did. That is the only thing that Tori did. And over the weekend, she had to go file police reports in response to that request because of what that creator's followers did to her, that creator knew exactly what their followers would do to Tori, because that creator's followers have been doing that to other creators for years once that creator has highlighted them or targeted them. And as soon as that heat gets to be too much, or as soon as that creator at the time targeted somebody like me, who had a large following at the time, or who targeted my friend, who had a large following at the time, and our followers are also loyal, and went to the comments of that creator's videos, DARVO. DARVO. DARVO is an acronym. Deny, accuse, and reverse victim and offender. DARVO. DARVO. The second that creator got heat in their comments from my followers, the second that creator got heat from my friends' followers, bear in mind, my friend is a woman who lived alone in the woods. And that creator's followers were publishing her home address and publishing photos of her home on TikTok. You going to tell me that that's not doxing? That creator didn't back off until our followers went into their comments. And then DARVO. Deny, accuse, reverse victim and offender. Doxing is about intent. It's not about where you find the information. It's not about what information is available online. Doxing is about your intent when you share that information. If you share that information, regardless of where you found it, with the intent to harm or harass or annoy or cause distress, that's a crime. And God damn, I am so proud of Tori for filing police reports in response to this bullshit. And I hope the police follow through. And I hope that the prosecuting attorneys that are involved follow through. And I hope they work their way up the chain. And Tori is also a black woman. And she's being doxxed by other people in that community. Which is mind-blowing to me. But Tori has my full support. If there's anything that I can do to help her, I absolutely will. And again, I hope they work their way up the chain. Have a great night, everybody. I mean, my brother and I sold this merch last year and raised $35,000 for a nonprofit in Columbus, Ohio called the Kaleidoscope Youth Center that provides all kinds of services for LGBTQIA plus young people, teenagers and young adults. And my little fucking stalker troll to this day calls me transphobic. Because that creator created that space for him to do that. But yeah, if you dox people on this app, you're a fucking piece of shit. I don't give a shit what side you're on. I don't care. Have a great night.